So when was the moment then where you were able to look at yourself and realize I have either conquered this inner rage, beast, whatever you want to call it, and you do have control?
Well, I have to go, now we go flash forward.
Yes.
Okay. My wife and I had been through, first of all, in 2010, it was the end of our marriage. We had been married 20 years.
Wow.
And, this whole time I had had an addiction to pornography, and I had never told her. And 10 years earlier, I had, basically cheated on her at a massage parlor.
Right.
But I vowed I'd never tell anybody. I said, man, I'm taking this to my grave. It's not happening. But see, you got to understand another thing too, is there's this competition, but also this guilt that I was always carrying.
Because of that, yeah, because
creates
of that.
rage.
Yeah, of course. And shame.
I used to get into arguments, so she asked me questions like, do you watch porn? And stuff. Hey, no, don't even bring that up. What are you talking about? You know what? No, listen, I don't know who you think you are. And start an argument. So she'd be like, I'm out. Just so she wouldn't bring up more. Because I knew what I was doing.
Right.
And I knew that I wasn't living right. I mean, the one thing is, it's almost like, you say one lie, and it turns into 2, turns into 10.
And it eats you inside of you too.
You're talking about 10 years. Now, I vowed I would never tell anybody. And my wife was always like, she would just bring up stuff like, what is it? What are you doing, man? I don't know. You ever cheat on me? Stuff like that. And I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, and angry. And what you would do, and one thing that I would do is project.
Of course.
So I was like, why are you saying that? Are you thinking about cheating? In turn, and again, this manipulative game that you could play with the people you love,
Right.
the people who love you, or you claim to love, just so you can keep your thing together. You know what I mean? And this is the thing, Louis, is that I realized that the image of Terry Crews was more important than who Terry Crews was.
Dang.
And I had to worship that image.
Who?
And it ran everything.
Because what would happen if who Terry Crews was really came out instead of the image? What would happen then?
Well, my mindset, I had to play. I was like, I'd lose everything. First of all, my wife would leave. People who knew me would be ashamed. People who knew me they would run away. Everybody would be done. All of it would be finished. Every bit of who if people found out who I really, really was, or what I was really, really thinking and contemplating, how I had done, then it would be the end of me.
Wow.
So I decided, and we're gonna put this image up, and we're gonna prop it up. And it's like having an image on these really weak posts. You know what I mean? It would get bumped, and it's like swaying, and you're doing everything you can to hold it. I got to put another beam up on there just to hold it up because it's getting rickety. And the longer it goes, the more rickety it gets. And it all fell 2010.
Wow.
And my wife was like, I'm out. I'm done. And because what happened was she finally asked me, because we had just been getting farther and farther apart over the years. And she said, what is it I don't know about you, Terry Crews? And I told her. I told her about what happened 10 years earlier. Now, in my head, I'm like, hey, that was 10 years ago. But for her, it was today. And she was like, I'm out.
Wow.
Don't come home. And what I realized is that she had married an image. And what she realized is that she didn't know me.
Right.
She was like, who are you? And I let her stay in that. And one thing about men is that what we're looking for is intimacy. Like literally someone who knows us inside and out and loves us anyway. But if you never reveal who you really are, you can never, ever have intimacy.
Amen to that.
You understand what I mean? You can't. It's impossible. Because you have to know who you are.
Absolutely. You have to share who you are.
But the game is not to share who you are. So you can have sex all day. Lots of sex. because that's still part of the image. But it doesn't have anything to do with intimacy.
Right.
Anything to do with someone. This is why you always love your mom. Because your mom knows who you are.
Right. Everything.
Everything. You know what I mean? She cleaned your nose,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
wiped your butt. She knows when you lie, she knows the bad you, she knows the good you.
Yeah.
And she loves you anyway. That's why mom is queen of the world. Mm-hmm. But you didn't tell everything to this chick,
Nah.
to this lady,
Yeah.
to your wife. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my God. And dude, years of therapy. I finally went in to deal with these issues, man. Now, the thing about in my culture, where I grew up,
No one does therapy.
the mind was, you can't cure crazy. That was the phrase that was said. Hey, you can't cure crazy. And then you're talking about in religious circles, they were like, oh, you're going to get them demons. The demons are going to come if you go to that psychology. They're going to mess with your brain and make you crazy. So there was one time my father went to a psychologist to get help for his alcoholism. And a week later, the psychologist jumped off a bridge. And I was like, what?
Wow.
Huh?
Oh man.
He jumped off a bridge, man. And I said, okay, that don't work. That's not going to work. No. And I thought these guys were going to make me crazy. So that was the thing. Like when that broke for me, when my wife left, I was at my wit's end. Like I said, man, I got to try this therapy stuff, because I'd heard enough about it over the years.
What was the greatest lessons therapy has taught you then?
Man, assembly required. Okay? When I say this, we all think we as men or people are as good as we are. We just take me as I am. We make songs about it. You take me just as I am. No. But the problem is, this thing is, it's not anybody else's job to assemble you. You are like Legos. Okay, Legos come in a box. You shake the box. It's just pieces. And in a very competitive world, people tell you you're broke. Hey man, look at your box. You broke it. But what I learned is that you're not broken. You're just not finished. It's up to you to assemble yourself. You have to work on you. You have to take off parts that are bad or broke or that don't fit. Because nothing's broken, it's just things don't fit. And you pull it off and you put it back together the right way. It's like when you go, but you gotta go deep and you gotta go down. With computers, it's a bit. With property or the minerals, it's atoms. And with human beings, it's genes. I mean, it's down into the core. You get one little gene and you can rebuild yourself. That's what I got from therapy. I was like, holy cow, you can take the bad out. It's not automatic. A lot of people have said it's either nature versus nurture. But nurture always works, no matter what your nature started out as. You understand what I mean? Like, nurture is, you're in the wood. Nature is you born naked in the woods. But nurture is you learn to make a coat and put it on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can build a house. You can build a building.
Yeah.
You can build a whole society. That's what nurture does. I said, wait a minute. You don't have to stay naked in the woods. But my mentality was what I had to stay naked in the woods. 'Cause that's where I was born. So that's it. I'll be honest. Like, the big thing, growing up, I cared what everyone thought. I mean, especially when you're in that world like that, everyone's opinion mattered way too much, and so where I'm really progressing to